encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. It is Relationship Monday, and our topic for today is my relationship making me sick? We are live on Intellectual Radio. We just heard from the Drive FI with Roman. Keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and allow us to feed your brain. On the last episode of Warriors Talk, Dr. Michelle Meeks and I discussed New Year, New You, setting health goals. You can head on over to YouTube and type in Intellectual Radio and stay connected for any episodes you may have missed. The quote of the day is, letting go means to come to some realization that some people are not a part of your destination, but are a part of your history. We are so grateful for our sponsor on today. We have Pastor Michael Richardson with the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ, who has a special message for us.
Greetings, I am Pastor Michael Richardson.
And I am First Lady Anastasia Richardson from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We're located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago, Illinois. We are building upon a solid foundation.
And we're inviting you to join us every Sunday morning on Facebook Live at Emmanuel Kojic at 10:15 Central Standard Time. And you can also view our videos on our YouTube channel at Emmanuel Kojic-MR. Once again, this is Pastor Michael Richardson
and First Lady Anastasia Richardson, and we're from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We are building upon a solid foundation.
If you are tuned in on any form of social media, like the show, share the show, and invite someone else in on the show that you feel may benefit from this valuable information. My special guest, who is a co-host on Warriors Talk, is our cancer activist, motivational speaker, and the founder of the Gal Foundation, Rizal Gilmore, aka The Biz. Hey, Rizal.
Lady ReShell, how are you?
What's up?
New year, new show, new us.
I'm excited.
New wall, I finished.
Oh, let me see.
Nice. Let me take you up. There we go.
Oh, that took a lot of work.
Yeah, it did.
That's nice.
Yes, it did. But we got it done.
Look at you being all handy.
Yeah, sometimes, you discover things that you never knew that you had in you. That's how I know that some of these survivors out here, they discovered that they had fight in them that they didn't know that they had. Sometimes it takes a little something to push you there,
That is
for
so
me,
true.
For me, it was the estimates that I was getting from these people, and I said no. And it's funny thing because all you have to do is just go on YouTube or whatever, and you could change your whole life on YouTube. You could become a pilot if you need to be on YouTube by YouTube.
Man, people sleeping on YouTube. I'm telling you, anything you want to learn how to do, just go right there and type it. Yes.
They show you everything, and you just go there, practice it, and manifest it, and then boom, next thing you know, doors are opening, things are happening. I'm trying to tell you, it happened for me.
Yes, I totally agree with you. Well, I'm excited about the show today. So we're talking about relationships on today. And if you have not been through a relationship to where you are having issues in the relationship to where it's making you feel some type of way, whether you feel insecure, whether you feel sick, whether you feel like you're doubting yourself. Today we're going to talk about, is my relationship making me sick? And I was just thinking, Rizal, like at the age that we're at now, I feel like both of us probably have experienced a relationship to where it probably has made us sick. And I think the first time I experienced something like this, I was actually 19 years old. And at the time, I didn't know what it was. I'm just like, this is love. And my mom was like, no, it's not. It's not love. I was like, yeah, this is love. I can remember being so sick that I lost so much weight that the mailman noticed how much weight I lost. And the mailman was like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on with you?" And I'm like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, me and so broke up." And he was like, don't let that man do that to you, baby. You done lost all that weight." I was just like, dang, the mailman noticed. So I remember at 19 experiencing what that felt like to be in a relationship that was unhealthy to the point that it made me sick.
I've yeah, I've been in a lot of unhealthy relationships. Um, and I'm quite sure somewhere along the line is put a toll on me. It hasn't made me sick to the point of, where a lot of people are now, but we know stress is a killer. And being in a toxic relationship, it adds to it. So definitely somewhere there was probably something that erupted inside of me that was very unhealthy because of an unhealthy relationship. So, thank God we're all still here.
Yeah.
Um, when you know better, you do better. So now I know what to do. And I said, I'm in 2025, I'm not letting anyone rattle my cages. I'm not being bothered. I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and then I'm going to do what I'm going to do. If you don't like it,
Yeah, I feel like at this age, we should be honest about what it is that we want, and we should be able to say what it is in a way that doesn't really offend anybody, but doesn't take away from what it is that we need to be happy. Maybe when we were younger, like you kind of sugarcoated it and just to appease the other person, but now it's just like, I'm not doing that.
mhm.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I think when we was young, we would tolerate, a lot of things. Oh, she's cute. She's a little crazy, but you know what? Maybe we can work and figure it out. Nope. Not in this day and age, not at my age. Nope. I don't care how cute you are, how you should have it together by now. You should understand also, if you're a woman or a man of a certain age, that all that arguing and toxicity and that going back and forth and all that insecure and all that. No, no, no. We're not doing that in 2025.
We're not doing that. So we're going to talk about, is my relationship making me sick? And I want to define what like a toxic relationship is first before we get started, because sometimes we can pretend like we don't know when we're in a toxic relationship until we actually hear it, and then we're like, oh wow, that's me. So a toxic relationship is any relationship that is damaging to your mental health, your self-esteem, and your overall well-being. It doesn't necessarily have to be from a romantic partner. It could be a family member. It could be someone, a friend, or somebody maybe in authority, but they make you feel these things. I always say someone that makes you feel like when you're with them, it's kind of draining when you leave that person. Every time you encounter this person, it's just like you feel drained when you leave that person.
I definitely have every single one of those that's up there and listed, especially the family member one. Ooh, they like the worst guy. Ooh, the family member one, yeah. I got a couple that I cut off now. Mm, mm, mm. It's a shame, but yeah. I always say I don't care if it's family, friend, or foe. You disturbing my peace, you has to go.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of those toxic characteristics. And we have done a show on this already about toxic relationships, you guys. So if you want to go and see that, just go to Intellectual Radio, and you'll be able to see the show that we've already done on toxic relationships. Today, we're taking it a step further, and we're talking about how it has an effect on your health, and not just your physical health, but your mental health, emotional as well. So one of the traits that an individual can have, or you're feeling when you're with that individual, is that when you're together, you may feel tired, or you may feel unfulfilled when you're with that person, because it seems like you're always trying to please that person, or they're never ever satisfied.
I'm just trying to think of I feel as though I'm tired from hearing about them tired, because when you do all you can and it's like it's still just never enough, you get tired of that. You feel yeah, and it's like, damn, like what do I have to do to make this person smile? They're just never happy with nothing. Every time we were together, if it just makes me not want to be around, or like, I need to end this. I don't care how good certain things are. I need my peace of mind. That's more important to me than anything.
Yeah. Peace of mind is important. Number 2 is the relationship causes you to feel bad about yourself, both before, during, and after you guys are together.
Yes, because they will make you feel guilty about things. And then you sitting there like, well, damn, did I do it right? Or, you know, for whatever reason, the other person always swear that they're right. And so they make you put the guilt trip like you did something wrong. And then now you talking to yourself about what you did wrong because you think that what they're saying is right. No. And it will drive you crazy. And then here you think that you the bad guy in the relationship, and let alone you're really the victim because they're now making you seem like you're the antagonist about everything, that you just don't know what you're doing or saying.
That's a bad feeling to have. It is. Number 3, we're talking about characteristics of a toxic relationship that leads you to have you feeling unhealthy. So number 3 is you feel threatened rather than safe with this person. Even in this environment that we're talking about, you feel some type of way.
Well, if I'm around, and I'm just going to say her friends because if I'm around their friends, I may not feel as safe because it could be a biased situation and people don't know the entire situation. They don't know my side. They're only seeing and what they heard from her. So now they looking at me sideways like I'm the crazy one because she done gave a scenario to her friends or whatever. So that's what they're going to run with, because who are you going to go with who you're loyal to? So if you're loyal to them, they're not going to, it's always two sides to every story. So I definitely will feel kind of threatened and unsafe in that situation because first, I don't know what you told these people, and they may be looking at me like they want to hurt me. So I don't want to be there. And yes, then I could feel unsafe and threatened. Here we are at a house party, and next thing I know, I got your cousins running down on me, backing me into a corner and talking about what you talking about? What you mean? And now I gotta fight my way out of there and everything. Man, no, ain't nobody got no time for that.
Well, I guess it depends. If it's a relationship to where there's some sort of physical abuse going on, and then I would say it's okay to say something to somebody else about it. Even maybe verbal abuse too. But if it's not that and you're just having normal relationship issues, you should be keeping that stuff to yourself and not sharing it with other people, especially if you're not going anywhere. Like if you're not going to leave this person, you're not going anywhere, then like, what's the point? Right. And then that's a red flag that you're always complaining about this person to other people, like always complaining. Every time you get with your other people, you got something to say about this person. Like that should tell you something that maybe you shouldn't be with this person.
Yeah. And especially if your friends done told you that they don't like them, especially they're the ones on the outside looking in. So they may see something or hear something that you say that will trigger them like, hey, nah, you need to abort the mission. You need to get out of there. But, we're so, I'm in love. We're looking like the puppy dog running through the daisy field with eyes full of hearts, and we're just blinking, and he makes me feel and let alone this guy or woman is verbally, physically abused. It's crazy. It's definitely crazy.
Kenya says verbal abuse and physical abuse is the same.
Well, we'll say abuse is abuse, but I still think that verbal and physical is two different things. One is screaming, but when you get to the point you put hands on, that could be very dangerous because physical abuse, I may want to choke the life out of you. And then there may be no coming back. And now you got bruises and mark. At least with verbal, I could just cuss your behind out and then walk away and feel good about it. Skip to my loo and don't even worry about you no more. So
right. Words hurt. The words can cut hard. People know what buttons to push when they talk to you, especially if this is a person you have told all of your secrets to, you've been vulnerable with, then they know what buttons to push to send you over that edge. So,
right. And it hurts even more when they use what you told them against you. Like you told that I told you this in confidence, on why. See, this is why I don't like telling nobody my past, because they want to use it against you. And I told you this in confidence. And now here you are throwing it back at me that I'm trying to get through it and over it. Ooh, that burns me up.
Number 4 says, you feel as if you are the one who's always giving while your partner gives a little or gives nothing.
Well, I have to say that's the relationship. You may feel as though that you're giving more than the other, but that's the relationship. That's the relationship. It may be a point where your partner they're not up at 100% at that point, and you got to carry the load. You can't feel like that because the partnership that you two agreed upon, the commitment is, especially in marriage, through thick or thin, for better, or for worse. So if I'm down, you're there for me to carry me. And if you're down, it's vice versa. So I can't, you can't argue the fact that if you're doing too much and the other person is doing too little or doing nothing.
Oh, yes, I can. I mean, it's a thing of, okay, maybe it may be 70-30 or it may be 60-40 at some times. But if it's always that way, right?
If it started that way, again, that was your fault. You should have read and got out of there from the beginning. Now, if it happened, if y'all was 50-50 or y'all was 100-100 going forward, and then something happened and it became 70-30, 60-40, okay, that's a different scenario. That's understandable. Just try to fix whatever it is so y'all can get back to where y'all were. But it started out like that. That's more than likely probably how it's going to be.
I'm saying if it did not start out like that and it came to that point, but at some point it's like, okay, this can't stay like this. And you're constantly telling this person, this is not going to work for me. I need it to be at this point. And if it cannot get to this point, then okay, we gotta go.
Well, would you think as a man or woman, they say a man is supposed to teach you and help, and teach you something so you can become a better woman. And a woman is supposed to also help bring, when a man is down, help bring him up to a point where he may need that confidence moving forward or something in that case. This is why, the helpmate, this is why you two are partners. If I'm down or I'm moving in a direction and I need to be filled with faith that it's going to be all right, I expect you, hey, baby, don't worry about it. I got your back. And baby, look, I'm going through this thing. I'm going to pull you through the ring too. This is where we're going. This is where we're going to be. This is what I want for us. Very rarely it's 50-50, more 60-40. Tell them Cadillac, they got it all messed up.
It could be
I know who the 60% is.
Ain't nobody looking for 50-50. The woman is definitely not looking for 50-50. especially when God created the man to be the head. Now, if God did not create the man to be the head, then God said, okay, y'all are equal, y'all partners, split everything down the middle. Okay, that's fine. That's not how it's set up if you believe in God that way. So sometimes something, like you said, something may happen in life to where maybe the man was working and the woman was staying at home, and now maybe he lost his job or he got hurt, and now maybe she has to get out and work. Okay, those are different circumstances. But if he's just laying at home and being lazy and playing the game all day and hanging out and smoking weed, then that's something different. But we're not, at this point, we're not equally yoked. I need you to do what you're supposed to do.
Right. And I can agree with that. From what I'm hearing, a lot of the women would be happy if they got a man that brought 20% to the table. And that's not to knock my brothers, but I know it do exist. I know it is out there. I know it does happen.
My 18-year-old daughter can bring 20% to the table.
But I'm talking about the men who's just, like you said, who's just playing the video game, home smoking weed. They ain't doing nothing. They ain't bringing. They're being more of a burden than being a partner.
Oh, those may be the women who may feel like, at least I have a man in the household. I'm okay with that. So if they're okay with that, then who am I to judge? Number 5 said there is more drama, conflict, and anxiety in the relationship. It's always something going on. Every time y'all go to a family function or anywhere, y'all always getting into it. People hate being around y'all because they know y'all about to argue, somebody about to leave, somebody getting upset about something.
And I just don't get it. For what? What can you possibly be arguing? We argue every day, and it's like it's just still more arguing to do. How much arguing and drama and conflict can a person of a couple bring and have? It's just, you gotta want to just get out and get away. It's just too much.
Somebody does not want to be there. That's why they probably having those issues.
I think they're just afraid that they're not going to find somebody else or something. Man, I can't even count on one. I can't even count on both hands how many relationships I left because of the toxicity and because of the drama and the conflict. They just was not. Everybody's not going to be on your level. And getting them to be, a lot of people say, oh, you got to find somebody that's on your level or that's like you. Getting them to understand you on your level. That's the issue.
Or just find somebody that you're compatible with, and then you don't have to try and bring anybody else up to your level. The reason why they're probably having issues is because you're with somebody that you're not compatible with. And not to say that you don't have issues in relationships, but if you're having issues to the point to where it's making you sick, then something is wrong. Like, we really need to take a step back and look at why we're together. What are we doing?
Yeah. What good are you bringing me? What are you really doing for me other than causing me stress and causing my health to decline? You ain't bringing nothing to the table, but, well,
And sometimes, okay. Number 6, you don't feel supported. You don't feel supported by your partner. I'm sorry, that was an inside joke. You don't feel supported by your partner. So that can make you feel, especially if you're a person that, say for instance, you're out doing something, if you were a DJ or maybe you were a promoter, you did parties or whatever, and that person never supported you, never came to an event, never helped you do anything. And whenever you ask their opinion, they're just like, that's your little thing. And you feel like, wow, when I go out, the other people love me and they tell me, how good of a job I'm doing. But then when I'm at home, I don't feel that same love or same support.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it depends on what level or how they describe support. Because like you said, if you're a DJ and I never came to your show, I could be a person who don't like crowds. You have to understand that. Or I don't want to be out. Maybe I'm claustrophobic, around a whole bunch of people. I don't do well. If I start getting anxiety or something, doesn't mean that I don't support you. I just don't do well with those certain situations. And if you're my man or woman, I'm going to do the best I can to let you know that I'm there. I'm riding with you on whatever it is. But there are certain circumstances that may say, well, look, I got to do it I have to support you a different way because I'm not cool with that way, or I can't do it that way due to this, whether it's health reasons, whether it's anxiety, whether it's triggers or whatever the case. But, you could be there for them, but people are quick to throw that they don't support me up. But why don't they support you? Those are the things that you need to find out why. And what do you consider support? Because I didn't buy Girl Scout cookies from you. You didn't, your son or daughter, they're selling stuff and I didn't buy anything. You called, and you mad at me because you figured that was support. So it all depends on what the support is.
Number 7, your partner gets jealous a lot, and this could lead to mistrust or even them being suspicious of you all the time.
This one right here is one of the worst. Anybody that's in a relation, that's jealous in a relationship, that relationship is not going to last. It's not. Every single thing, every single person thing is going to trigger them for them to believe that you are doing something that you are not supposed to be doing. And that's more than likely, and I pray that that is not the case. But now you got to sit up here and defend and prove yourself. And that right there becomes drama and could become physical and all these different things to a person who is jealous and just it's not going to work. Just plain, it's not. Just get out now, save yourself the trouble and the headache, and save yourself the air and everything, and save yourself the stress. It's just not going to work.
Kenya said that's fine, but I think in the beginning of your relationship, things like that should be discussed so it won't be a surprise. I think she's talking about the support part. How are you going to support that person? That way they won't be like, oh, she didn't come, she never come out. Well, we already talked about it, so that person won't be feeling some type of way.
Yeah, I mean, it's different, different scenario, different support. So, I mean, you could be trying to get me into a Ponzi scheme, and because I didn't get in, you saying that I'm not supporting you. That could be an argument. No. So everything, it depends on what the support is.
That's true. Number 8 says you may neglect to take care of yourself, your health, and your well-being.
Yep. Because now you ain't got it in your head that you're this type of person according to this other person. And now it's like, damn, I ain't got nothing to lose because I'm trash anyway. So now your whole self-esteem, everything is going down. You start losing, start with your hygiene, all different kind of things start to head downhill. It puts a toll on you. It definitely could happen. You don't want to get out of bed. You're miserable. You've lost energy. So if you're losing energy, you don't want to move, which means now you don't want to make it to the bathroom. So you're just walking around in your pajamas all day, ain't brush your teeth, wash your face, took a shower, none of that stuff. Yeah, it definitely could take a toll on you.
I think number 9 probably will go with that too. It talks about ignoring your own needs and then just trying to give your partner what they need, whatever it is they say they need, while you neglecting your own.
Right, because you're trying to prove to your partner that you're the best thing since sliced bread, and they ain't believing you. So you out there trying to prove everything what you can to them, going all out, sacrificing your happiness and well-being. Absolutely, yep.
Your partner is never happy, appreciative, and pleased with who you are, and it feels as though you must change to make that person happy. That's a lot of work.
I don't know how many times I said this. If I have to change you, you're not the one for me. If you don't like who I am and how I'm living my life, you don't have to be here. Everybody has a choice. You don't have to be with me. It could, even if we're married, we can always, there's things to change it if you are not happy. That is the last thing that I want to do to anybody, is not make them happy or not be the person who I said I was going to be to them. You look at me in a whole different light and I thought of myself as something more and you didn't like it. Bye. Hit the road, Jack.
If you guys are tuned in to Intellectual Radio, this is Warriors Talk, and our topic for today is my relationship making me sick? And we just got done discussing those toxic behaviors that could possibly lead to you being sick. And now we're going to talk about some non-toxic behaviors that you may experience in a healthy relationship. You express pride in each other. You're happy about the person that you're with. You brag about that person to other people.
Now, this is being in a healthy relationship.
We're in the healthy. And
Okay.
Kenya's comment goes with the healthy too, because she said relationship takes compromising. It does.
Okay, that was number one.
Number two is you feel like you're part of a team. It's not like me, or us against each other. Like we're a team.
That one definitely feels good.
You feel safe. You always feel safe with each other.
Yeah.
A lot of times you have fun, more times than not.
That's a good feeling also.
You feel nurtured, comforted. No. You encourage each other, individual interests, whatever they're doing, you support it. Yeah, you're their cheerleader.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, look, I didn't have to kill you today, so that was a good day.
You accept responsibilities for your own action, and you apologize whenever you're wrong.
Which means we're just coming from we could be coming out of a heated argument or whatever, but being able to apologize to each other, that's a good thing too. And actually accept it and move on from it. That's the problem. You may accept it, but moving on from it, totally different.
So some of the signs that your relationship may be affecting your health is some people may be dealing with hypertension, coronary artery disease. It weakens your immune system.
Definitely that number 3.
Yes. Mental disorders like anxiety, depression. You feel like you're walking on eggshells every time you're around this person because you don't know when they're gonna go off. And you just
it's like you can't say too much because it might trigger them, and next thing you know, you in a heated battle, conversation, conflict, whatever. And God forbid if it's physical. We haven't seen enough movies where they just wait for the right moment, and it's
It can contribute to you having poor sleeping habits. You may not be able to go to sleep. You may be afraid. You're sleeping next to this crazy person, and you're like, I can't. So
absolutely, because in your mind, you thinking about how you were right and they were wrong, and how can you get across this person? But you don't want to start an argument anymore because you're already on thought about the situation. So you up late at night, wondering, where did things go wrong? Absolutely, yep.
Kenya said that's definitely is unhealthy. It says it increased your mortality risk being in an unhealthy relationship, and it also increases your risk of engaging in other unhealthy or unclean behaviors like drinking, smoking, doing drugs, harming yourself.
Because you're coping.
So you ask yourself, should I stay? Should I go? Like, when do you decide to get out of that toxic relationship? And why is it so difficult for individuals to get out of a toxic relationship?
Sound like a Darnell Jones song.
What do we say? A lot of people stay because they're trauma bonded to this person. And when you're trauma bonded to a person, it causes procrastination when you want to break up because you have that fear of abandonment for all reasons. And so
Mhm.
some people may stay in those toxic relationships because they are trauma bonded to a person. And I know when we think of trauma bond, we think of, oh, maybe some traumatic event happened, but that's not often the case. But trauma bonding is a psychological response to a cycle of abuse. So you're constantly being repeating that cycle of abuse. And it makes you bonded to that person, creating a trauma bond.
Hmm. That's interesting.
Very, very interesting.
We got our work cut out for us this year.
Kenya said that's because they feel that it's better to have someone than to have nobody. Ooh, that's
I said that earlier.
like Rizal said, I would rather have my peace of mind than to be dealing with that. So how do you leave a toxic? Go ahead, Rizal. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, Kenya, everything that's good to you ain't good for you.
So how do you leave a toxic relationship? This is how you could do it in 6 steps.
That's why I need to pay attention.
Build your support system. Make sure you have a support system that's going to be loyal to you and not run back and tell this person every move that you're trying to make. Man, what's going on in your relationship? I just talked to a girl and she said that she was leaving you because XYZ. Like you want a trusted circle that's going to be there for you. So make sure when you're building your support, you're doing it wisely.
Well, that person that just came back and asked me that definitely ain't going to be in the circle because you gab too much. You just being nosy. If you, yeah, yep. So -1.
Number 2, a way that you can leave a toxic relationship is explore ways to be more independent. If you're dependent on that person, especially financially, and y'all live together, now you're working on ways to kind of separate yourself or set yourself up so that you can leave and be able to stand on your own.
Yep. You gotta get the eye of the tiger and get out there and fight for it.
And then number 3 is make sure you're leaning on family, friends, and others, and let them know why you're leaving. Like, don't just be like trying to keep everything under wraps. Like, let them know as you're leaving. Let them know what's going on so somebody can be aware. Especially if it's an abusive situation, somebody needs to know what's going on.
Okay, that instant, yes, but some family member, no, they be like, girl, she on her 3rd husband. I don't know what's going on, but some of them we can't.
That
Nope, they
goes
don't
back.
need to know.
That goes back to building your support. You be selective
Hmm.
in who you put in that circle. And then get help. Get help. I always say go to counseling, get therapy. And if it involves some type of physical altercation, then the law enforcement should be involved because you want to get a paper trail. And then number 5 is cut off contact with them. If you're done with them, then cut off contact with the other person, block them, change your number, don't let them know where you moved. Like, you have to be able to set boundaries so this person know that you're serious. So you have to remember to, in this situation, to care for yourself as you're transitioning out of that toxic relationship. Ooh, that was a lot.
It was good though.
Yeah, that was a lot. So give me some words of wisdom, Rizal, as it
You know,
relates.
I had something I was going to say, but after having this conversation tonight, I've changed my mind about it. So I'm going to say, you can't fix what you won't confront.
I like that. I like that. You guys don't go anywhere. Coming up next on Intellectual Radio is Pillow Talk with God. And I'll leave you with these words of wisdom. The moment you realize you deserve better, everything will change. So tune in next Monday right here at 6 p.m. on Intellectual Radio. As always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell. Co-hosting with me today is Rizal Gilmore. aka The Biz. Warriors Talk is changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk with the number 1 on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on intellectualradio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.